good, basketballers? It's NBA Jail and I am back with another video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get to it. Are the 2019 NBA playoffs the most important in NBA history? The 2019 playoffs have been very exciting so far, and I'm going to explain why this is the most important postseason in NBA history. Every single team in the playoffs has something to prove, and I'm going to break it all down. Let's start with the Warriors and Clippers. Golden State lost DeMarcus in Game 2, and it's very likely they'll lose one or two of their marquee players this offseason. Whether that's KD, Klay, or Cousins, the Warriors won't be the same Warriors of next season. They probably will win the chip again this year, but they have to worry about losing a major piece to their puzzle. Maybe KD will stay, but he'll most likely leave because he still has to prove that he can win a championship without hopping on the wave. The Clippers are a hard-nosed team that is auditioning for a free agent like Kawhi to come in town. Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, and the entire Clippers crew has an underdog and low-key mentality. They just came back from a 31-point deficit in Game 2. That's the largest comeback in playoff history. If someone like Kawhi came, he would fit right into, and maybe someone else will show because they do have space for 2 max contracts. The Rockets and Jazz. The Rockets are trying to prove they can in fact still compete with the Warriors. If CP was never injured in last year's Western Conference Finals, they might have won in a lot of people's eyes. Harden is trying to live up to his MVP status because he's known for not playing up to par in high leverage moments. The Jazz are simply trying to prove that they are a serious contender and trying to build off of last year. Donovan Mitchell is only in his second year but still has a lot of room to grow. So I don't really expect much from the Jazz, but they are definitely a team to keep your eyes on in these next few seasons. The Trailblazers and OKC. The Trailblazers are that team that's not good enough to win it all but not bad enough to get a lottery pick. They're one of those teams that are stuck in limbo. So I do believe these are some of the last seasons we'll see Lillard and McCollum together. I have an entire video on this segment, so if you guys would like to check it out, I'll put the link in the description. The Blazers are trying to prove they can make some noise and attempt a Western Conference Finals push. Luckily, they don't have to see the Warriors or Rockets to the Western Conference Finals, so that's a bit of an advantage. OKC is trying to prove that Russ and PG formula is effective. They didn't end the season on a high note and had a first round exit last season. If they don't get out the first round this season, I'm sure there'll be a few changes taking place, and PG might even regret signing that deal. The Nuggets and Spurs. The Nuggets are trying to solidify their second seed with their star Nikola Jokic. They want to prove that they didn't end up in second place on accident and that they can actually compete. I do feel like the Nuggets have a way to go, but the potential is there. The Spurs want to prove that they still got it. They can still go on playoff runs and intimidate players with fundamental basketball. DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge have to prove they can lead a team. I think that's a key matchup to keep our eyes on. The Bucks and Pistons. The Bucks have to prove that their best record in the league was not a mistake. Giannis hasn't been getting much criticism, but I think after this season that'll all change. If the Bucks don't at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, this season would be a bust for them. The Pistons are without Blake, so they honestly don't have much to prove. They were better off not even making the playoffs because now they don't have their best player. The Pistons just have to worry about keeping Blake in Detroit because who knows if he'll request a trade before 2022. The Celtics and Pacers. The Celtics have to prove they're still making the finals as projected before the season started. Their expectations were set higher than they could reach, and they didn't do as much as people hoped they would. They probably won't have Kyrie this offseason, but this is a perfect chance to showcase the talent of players they'll most likely trade to try to get AD. The Pacers are trying to prove they can still ball without Oladipo. People thought they'd fall dramatically without him, and they still managed to finish 5th. Hopefully next season they'll bounce back, but I don't see them beating Boston. The Sixers and Nets. The Sixers have to prove that they are true contenders for the title because myself and a lot of others are just not convinced. They have to prove somehow that Simmons is not their Achilles heel. There's also questions in the air about if Jimmy Butler is staying or not, so they'll have to try to convince him. Like the Lakers, the Nets are auditioning for a free agent or two this summer. In my previous video, I said that KD would possibly go to the Nets because the organization and players are overall better than the Knicks. I do believe the Nets are a front runner because they're young and they play hard, and D'Angelo Russell got them to the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. The Raptors and Magic. The Raptors have to try to convince Kawhi to stay because he possibly could leave and he could change the entire landscape of the NBA once again. Kyle Lowry has to step up his gameplay because he could be the difference between Kawhi leaving or staying. They, like the Sixers, Bucks, and Celtics, gotta make it to the Eastern Conference Finals at least, or else their season would be a bust. The Magic haven't made the playoffs since 2012. That was when Dwight Howard was on the team. They have to prove that they can develop their young players and mix their veterans in as well. These playoffs and offseason can drastically shift the balance of power in the NBA. Although the winner may be a foregone conclusion, we really get to see who's who and who can do what in these playoffs. And more now than ever since LeBron isn't there taking guys out of the postseason. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do y'all agree? Do y'all not agree? What do you guys' brackets look like? I want to know everything down in the comments, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.